Look at this baby goat swarm. They are everywhere. They all came in to see me. It is late in the day. Thankfully, it's not dark, but it's well after my normal time to visit them. And they missed me because they all came running for some scratches. Loving it. Hi. Hi, mister. That was funny. I actually don't normally all come in at once, but boy, they are all here. Everybody was like, where you been, Mom? So we're in the happy place. With all my goats that are groomed, life is good. Not sure if you're going to see this video before or after you start to see grooming videos, but it's getting close, right? So I think you're going to see it before because quite honestly, I think I'm behind on my recording at this point. These are going to be pretty real time. Aren't you cute in the sun, mister? You going to take a little nap? No, your sister's going to bother you now. Oh, everybody's going to bother you now. That's usually what happens. Go ahead, just step on his head. Don't worry about it. So, hey guys, if you're new here, I'm Pam. This is Racing for Home Farm, where the animals rule the schedule, and I don't often keep up, but I try. Nothing here is planned. Nothing here is scripted. Everything is from the heart and from sometimes other places of the body, from the animals, not from me. And we just work around it, and they're all really cute, so it makes up for it. Generally speaking, this time of the year, we're just hanging with our baby goats and watching them do what baby goats do while I prattle on about nothing. Sometimes I don't even prattle. Today has been a day, though, so I do need to chat, and it's probably going to be somewhat of a long one because why not? I have to share. If you caught my last video, first off, a huge thank you again. If you didn't catch my last video, we are the top finalist or second place for 100 and Happenings Best of Farm category. First time ever nominated, first time ever in the contest, and you guys got us up to second place against some pretty hefty competition. I am super excited about that. Yeah, you decided to take a nap with your brother? Is that how things work around here? It's nap time. So I was super geeked about it, and if all goes well, I've managed to put the little badge up and a thank you post, but the way my life's been going right now, I may be behind on that, but I promise it's coming. Meanwhile, I'm just being harassed unmercifully by my little friends here who are up in my business. Even our little doling, everybody, they're all over the place. They're like locusts. They move so quick and they're busy, busy, busy. JC's hanging out with her babies. So anyway, let me tell you about my day here because it's been a day and I need to vent. And you're a captive audience. So it started out normal, relatively easy day. Got the house clean, about to start work. I got a couple of phone calls done, got some meetings accomplished, and about 10 o'clock this morning, Hugo, our French Bulldog, who is a big part of this channel, he's always around, always bustling around, and he's an old guy, to be fair. He's 9 years old, so he's, we made a joke that at his last annual vet visit, which was just last month, that he's a senior. He's beyond senior at this point. But still going strong, right? And super healthy and just awesome to have around. Well, he wasn't breathing correctly. He wasn't really in distress in any way, shape, or form. He just, yeah, he didn't like that very much, did he? You annoyed him, and boy, he'd tell you about it. Not that she cares, by the way. She's a bit honey badger in her. Oh, and he's right back to his nap. So there. Sorry, it's very, very easy to get distracted around here. So at any rate, I didn't like how his breathing looked. And it's weird because I'm going to say he sounded off. And, you know, Frenchies, they have breathing issues often to begin with, right? So it's not like he's a quiet breather. It's just different. I knew something was off. I watched him for about 15 minutes thinking, you know, like, does he have allergies, right? The pollen count is ridiculous with our fluctuating weather. It was 25 degrees Fahrenheit this morning, so that's well below freezing. Now it's a bit warmer, and we're going to warm up again for another 2 or 3 days, back up to maybe, you know, 70 degrees Fahrenheit. So that's a 50-degree swing. And then we're going to go right back down to below freezing. So it's absolutely ridiculous weather right now. And, you know, that can certainly trigger allergies, snotty noses, all those fun things. So that's kind of what I thought we were dealing with. Wasn't really sure though, kept an eye on him, took one more phone call. And by the time that phone call was done, about 30 minutes later, it was time to call my vet and see how fast they could get me in. And you know, when you have a lot of animals, your vets know who you are. They trust your judgment. I mean, I've been going to the same vet for over a decade now. He's seen me through quite a lot of animals, some who are still with us, some who are not. We've been through a lot of, you know, ups and downs with those animals. So when I call, I appreciate the fact that they recognize I'm not calling with, you know, a frivolous issue. I'm calling and it's serious. And, you know, bless their hearts, they, you know, said, just how fast can you get here? It's like, well, legally, I'll be there in 20 minutes, but illegally, I'll probably be there in 10. Obviously, I was speeding just a little bit, but we won't talk about that. Anyway, got him to the vet. They took me in, you know, in right away, and they agreed with me that something was not so correct. Meanwhile, he was not in distress at all. He was breathing incorrectly, but he was still happy-go-lucky Hugo, jumping up on people, wanting attention, getting, you know, hugs and kisses. I love how this little doe is just snuggled up with her mom right now. She's so sweet. Not really, because she's a doe, so she's a little bit full of herself, but she's awful sweet. Meanwhile, her brother has found a different snuggle buddy, at least for the moment. We'll see if they decide to stay snuggle buddies or not. Oh, incoming. Oh, there we go. Tush to tush. So anyway, so took Hugo straight back, and of course he needed x-rays, which was not a surprise. I fully expected that. Got x-rays, and what it looked like is he was full of air, not gas, air. And we did have a giggle because Frenchies are often full of gas. That's a fairly common occurrence with Frenchies, but that gas is just, you know, crop dusting type. It's not what he was. He was full of air. So he had been gulping air essentially into his stomach, and it had distended. And, you know, a lot of the threat there, and you can Google it, right, is bloat and what can cause a stomach to flip. And that's what you see in large breed dogs a lot when they eat too fast. And that is very dangerous. It's, you know, life-threatening. It's emergency surgery. It's crisis, right? So when they called me into the room about 5 minutes after they took Mr. Hugo to go get his x-rays, not only was my normal vet in there, but one of his partners was in there, and my normal vet tech was in there. I was like, oh, this is not good. And as it turns out, they had Hugo in the back still on oxygen because he had started to turn a bit purple while they were trying to x-ray him. So he was really struggling to breathe at that point. With what they saw on x-ray, you know, they said, look, this is beyond what we have here, right? They're not a full hospital. They're, you know, the normal annual visits, dog, cats, get sick kind of vet. So, do not pass go, do not collect 200, straight to emergency veterinary hospital. And well, not surprisingly, of course, I'm on file there with just better. There's several of them in our area. I'm on file with all of them. So I went to, one of the ones that I feel does the best job, and is the closest, right? So there's one that's very much, well-renowned, but over an hour away. And there's one that's about 25, 30 minutes away that has most of the same capabilities, but doesn't have all the specialists on hand all the time, like wouldn't have MRI capability, that kind of thing. Didn't think we were going to need that, so I went there. They took him in right away. And the upshot is he ended up needing to be put right into an oxygen tank. Once he was in an oxygen tank, he started not to breathe any better, but at least he wasn't uncomfortable, right? And let me tell you, I got there in lightning speed. I actually got there faster than my vet's office could send the x-ray photos to them. And they were sending them as I left, right? So my car turned into a bit of a rocket ship. We got him there. So long story short, after being there for about 5 hours, about 5 hours, he had another round of x-rays. We had radiologists take a look at his x-rays. We've had, had some specialists look at his x-rays, and, thank goodness he didn't have bloat or gastric torsion, or GDV as it's called. But what the suspicion is that he has pneumonia. Now, how he got pneumonia, nobody knows, right? We still don't know whether it's aspiration pneumonia, we don't believe it is, or bacterial pneumonia, which is what we're leaning toward. Of course, with a farm, it could also be fungal pneumonia. However, it doesn't present that way. But it's really hard to see with all of that air in his system. It's kind of covering his lungs. There's just, things aren't in the right position anymore. So everybody did the best they could. And our game plan right now is Mr. Hugo is hospitalized in an oxygen tank. He's going to get his IV antibiotics started to treat for what we suspect is pneumonia. And he's going to be okay, right? Which is always very concerning when you're dealing with a 9-year-old French Bulldog, that these diagnoses can go a different direction very quickly. We do believe that his prognosis is good. It's guarded right now, but he's good, and he should recover from this. He is going to probably be hospitalized for the next couple of days. So the reason I'm sharing, besides venting, is because you're not going to see him around, and he's usually around in the backgrounds of my videos. And then once he can graduate from being on in the oxygen tank, we can take him home and continue his medication at home. Certainly more than capable of administering IV medication if necessary, although by that point he'll probably be able to be on oral antibiotics. But that is where we're at. And, this is a team effort, right? So thank goodness I have a wonderful and understanding job that allowed me to drop everything, reschedule everything. I'm going to be working my tail off tomorrow, but reschedule everything and take the rest of the day to run him all over New Jersey, and to sit for hours on end waiting for answers. Thankfully, the vets were all available to make those answers happen. Farm Hubby met me there when he was able to sort of navigate around his schedule. And once we were able to kind of see him, we both left. Because again, he's been admitted, he's hospitalized, he was finally sleeping. He hadn't slept since all of this started. And, for a French Bulldog, that's a big deal. He needs his naps. So he was finally comfortable enough to sleep without being sedated. He had not been sedated to this point, which is fabulous. So that's a good sign. So we left him there, came home, but he's on some daily medications for some eye issues that he has. Not a big deal. It's just eye drops. It's easy to deal with. However, he needs those medications. And so Farm Hubby is now driving all the way back after just getting home to deliver those medications so he can have them while he's hospitalized. Had I known all of this was going to go on, of course, I would have brought them with me, but it wasn't even a thought in my head when I left. I did think we had some issues going on, and I fully expected that I might hear he needed antibiotics or he needed some, treatments, but I actually expected that I'd be bringing him home and doing those treatments myself, not that we would be, I'd be racing him to an emergency vet while he was sort of in distress, and then we'd be treating him with that stat. Look at everybody melting here in the sun. So anyway, thank you for being my venting group and letting me share that story. And I thank you all in advance if you choose to send some warm, healing thoughts Hugo's way. He is okay right now. Like I said, he's not in danger. And his prognosis is guarded, but positive. Look at these two. They're brothers. They're snuggle brothers. And then these two are snuggle brother and sister. And then these two, who are never far from each other, are just double trouble. Oh, and there you go. Not safe for work. It's never safe for work anymore. Then we've got a couple down here enjoying the sunshine and the warmth after a cold day. Got so cold last night, we actually had to turn the heat lamps back on for them. And it's funny because I had just done a video where I said, we don't need the heat lamps anymore. 40 degrees is fine. Yeah, 40 degrees is fine. 20 degrees, not so much. So, like I said, I will keep you all updated on Hugo. Don't expect anything in the next 24 to 48 hours. We've got to let the antibiotics work. We've got to let him graduate and be able to be out of the oxygen tank before we can confidently have a direction that things are going. But I will keep you posted. I know y'all are invested in him. I am, believe me, he's my buddy. He's my little man. And he's the most squishable Frenchie in the world. And he's also pretty indestructible. If you've seen him before, at 9 years old, he holds his own against Tonka, the 2-year-old cattle dog. He kind of, he's stubborn enough to still run down to the barn. He's been out in the woods with us. He doesn't act at all his age, and we're going to try and get him right back to that and let him continue to not act his age. So if you're still here with me, thank you for listening to my story. And I will be back to you as soon as I hear something with some updates. I'll keep you posted. But in the meantime, we're going to get back to our regular content, which is, generally speaking, more baby goats. But we also got some grooming videos coming up. And we're going to have some show videos coming up. And I still have more exciting news to share with you. It just keeps kind of getting pushed back because all this other stuff happens. And I'm still, despite it all, celebrating the 100's Best finalist category. Super geeked about that. Look how flat these guys have gotten. When I say the sun has melted them, it melts them. Just look at them. And I think I'm going to leave it there because this has gotten much longer than I intended. And you don't want to listen to me anymore because I'm quite sure most of you have already tuned it out. I really appreciate y'all being here. And until next time, there's work to be done. Bye for now.